GhOneTV, your best experience.
Semi fire timba fear, for the Jimmy swear. Sesame na gusu na massage me. Fence she a be dry me. The mama gonna give me. Na me the anewo, also the anemu. Let's put our phones away and go the more. Just hold me tight, light up the fire. I want to see so well. Make a mass was in the day. Namidi, you also, yeah. I followed my heart and I found a miracle as you. Intriguing, exciting, most of it all. Unim seni away, mommy tree, we are there. Let's put our phones away and call them more. Just hold me tight, light up the fire. Fire, quabo, them sister. Come on, so myself.
Welcome to TLS right here on GH1 Television. It's another beautiful Saturday, and I'm excited to come your way again. Today on TLS, you'll be excited to know what we're about to talk about here. I mean, it's sad and unfortunate we are losing our identity and have decided that instead of being proud of what we are, being authentic and what we are defined as Ghanaians, we would rather adopt the culture of the West. Isn't that so sad? Well, the world has evolved, and so not much can be done about that. Come on board with me here on TLS today as we delve into this conversation of identity. In fact, someone said we are having identity crisis in Ghana, right? But today, we're delving into the conversation, lost identity, okay? What makes us authentic as Ghanaians? Right here on the show, I'm definitely not doing this by myself. And thank you again for joining me as here one more time here on TLS. I'm doing this with Dr. Sarah Dogbaji Ose. She is head of a theater arts department and founder and CEO of Lododo Art Foundation. Did I get the name right?
Yes, you
Lododo Foundation. You're welcome, Mami.
Thank you.
It's good to have you. And we do have in the house too, Nicolina AJ Baining. She's a former ICT consultant, ECOWAS. Big woman. Welcome to TLS.
Thank you.
And my partner on the show today, guys, he's my partner. Today we have two big women and then my partner. He goes by the name Albert Tete. He is a poet. Good to have you. I like your whole, he's still being a millennial authentic Ghanaian. Good to have you, Albert.
Thank you.
And welcome to TLS. Today, let's quickly delve into the conversation today. Our identity is Ghanaian, as Ghanaian. Someone said we are having an identity crisis. I heard it before I came on set, and I found that very offensive. So I'm just going to stay where I'm sitting right now. Do we have identity crisis? Are we finding it difficult to stay authentic as Ghanaians, Mummy? Quickly take us away.
Yeah, the question of staying authentic is a tricky one.
Okay.
Because when you're talking about identity and the way you're talking about it, you're alluding to culture. And culture itself is not static. it grows, you know, and it changes, and it gets influenced and all that. And so it becomes difficult to say something is authentic. But then there is also that which points to the fact that you are Ghanaian, and I call that the Ghanaianness of things.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
and that in itself is also not static. It also grows. So what then is Ghanaian? I think when we come to that question, when we talk about identity, we are talking about the answer to the question, who are you or who am I?
True.
Okay, so there are many things that influence me, the definition of me. But there is a definition of a person in the Ghanaian philosophy of things. Yes. And when you go back to that, then you begin to trace your line, and that will determine whether you have deviated too far and needs to come back to find a certain path, or whether you're just fine.
Right. Right. I think that we're on track with the conversation. And let me not let you exhaust everything that you have to tell us today, because we are learning it step by step. Albert, you as a millennial, as we are, 21st century people, do you think that we are just evolving with time, or we've lost our identity completely?
I think majority of the youth today, we've lost it. Yeah, only a few are actually sticking to certain traits that the authenticity of the past, how we want to actually go along that line. It isn't wrong that the majority are off track, because society is evolving over time. And that's why people are going towards that kind of trend. But if we should have, just as she mentioned, if we should have maybe what we term as an anchor that we are fitted to, that we know that when we going, we swaying off this very path, we need to come back and recheck, so that we can reset our mindset to align with such statutes of the society, such values of the society. So I think the youth majority have left, and only a few are taking up the true identity of who a Ghanaian is, or who an African, a Ghanaian African in its totality is. Only a few are showcasing it, because there's a culture is a way of life of society, and culture changes with time. But there are certain elements of the cultural aspect that we're talking about that are static. And these things, are they being taught? Are they being passed on?
Right. I think that with that, Mommy will answer that question. Let me throw it back to Auntie Nicolina, right?
Yes,
Nicolina,
yes.
great. Let me get your thought on this one, so we switch into something else.
Okay.
What's your thought on this conversation of, are we losing our identity? What is even our identity as a Ghanaian?
Right. So just as Doc said, and he also said, I believe that a part of us is going away. And it's not totally bad, but it's not totally good. And I also want to say that if you look at people who are in the rural areas, they are still holding on to the culture. Actually, it's those of us in the urban centers, in the cities, who are deviating.
You think we are closer to the Queen?
Yes, we are deviating a lot, because I believe that in most of our hometowns, etc., they are still doing what they used to do in the past. It is true that the introduction of technology has exposed a lot of people to, foreign culture. Because, with the internet, you can see whatever you want to see on YouTube, on Facebook. So, yes, people now are seeing what is happening outside. But I think overall, we should be concerned, as you are. However, it's more predominant in the cities still than in the villages.
In the villages. So
that's my belief.
Yeah. And I want to agree with you that we who think that we're closer to the Queen and Obama, feel like we can do whatever it is that
arrived.
We have arrived, yes. But when you go back home, you do realize that these things, certain things are still practiced at home. So this brings me to my next question. Our identity as a people, as Ghanaians, it differs with religion.
Yes.
So I'm a Christian, so there's certain things I can't do anymore. I am a Muslim, so I can't relate to certain people in a certain way. Now let's move back to our hometown, so where we come from. So because I'm Akan, I have a certain way of life, and because you're Ewe, you're also totally different from me, and so we can't all identify with one look. I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from. So now let's individualize the personalities as a Ghanaian. So I'm a Ghanaian.
So you're talking about appearance.
Yes.
The looks of a person.
The looks, let's say appearance, food, language, all these things makes us different from each other.
Okay, I'll take it from language.
Okay.
Language has become a very critical turning point in the scheme of things. But where we are now, there's a lot of discourse going on about whether we should continue using language as in English, this kind of language as Ghanaian, or we should change to a certain Ghanaian language.
And which one are we choosing?
No, we'd have to do a blend of all the languages.
Right.
And I have an example of that. When you read the Ewe Bible, it is only one translation. It is a blend of all the Ewe, what do you call it? Dialects. And it works. Everybody reads that, everybody understands. Okay. So we can do that. We can incorporate that into the Ghanaian language if we want to develop that. It is doable. But what I would like to say at this point is, whilst we are still using the Queen's or whoever's language we call English, the vocabulary we are speaking should no longer be about the structure of the language. The vocabulary now should focus on the expression of thought.
Okay, please.
So when you use the English language, what are you saying? Are you saying A for apple, or you're saying A for apple?
Okay.
That is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That is so. That's exactly what our Nigerian neighbors did.
Yeah.
So now they have owned the English language and they have made it their pidgin language, which is now recognizable. You understand? Yeah. So that is what we need to do when it comes to language in terms of the use of this English language. Now let's move on to other things. When you talk about the Ewe culture, the Akan culture, the Ga culture, there definitely are differences, but all these are subcultures of Ghana. So they are sub-Ghanaian cultures. Yes.
Right.
So even though there are differences, we don't need to really highlight those differences because we are seeking to unify a nation.
Absolutely.
So we don't need to say I am Ewe, so I don't do this because it is Ashanti. No, there's a context in which all that will make sense. You have to use it appropriately. I just recently returned from a festival in Akachi doing storytelling with the people, and I had a contest on proverbs because it is one thing I find is missing in the language of the millennia, as you call them.
Yes, we this.
But there is wisdom in that. And those kinds of expressions, when you use them in the language and when you use them in the English, you can translate them into English and use them. It expresses our worldviews. It expresses the Ghanaianness in you. So there are things. One thing is very important. The concept of beauty. That is where we find a lot of undercuts. What is beautiful? In one instance, an old man, a 96-year-old man, was telling his story. And when he spoke about the icons of beauty, he would talk about, and the way to tune into he's won his clothes, and he's polished his ahinima, and he's wearing it. That is his icon of beauty. And then what shanikaba, what boniduku, that is his icon of beauty. When the millennia in the countryside are talking about beauty, they talk about why yani perming.
Why any heavy makeup? Why should need 8 inches heel?
You know that, and like Norba. So
yeah.
This is where you can dissect the thing and see where the colonial influence is. But then, at this point, I don't know if we want to still call it colonial or we want to make it our own and
own the slavery and then move on.
No, we don't have to own the slavery. As for that, I don't agree.
Okay.
But if you're wearing a certain cloth and somebody says it was designed in Holland, and so what? We bless God for their design. But we are wearing it. We are calling it Sikawan Tabai. It is our philosophy that we have added to the cloth.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
so we give it an identity.
Right.
We
own it.
We own it. You understand?
Absolutely.
So even though the foreign cultures are influencing us, we can't rule that out. We can't. So long as we are watching the screens, we can't rule out the fact that, of course, I've said it, culture is dynamic. It moves, it grows, because we see what is good and we imbibe it. We release what is wrong, what we feel is no longer necessary. We hold on to that. In Ewe, there is a proverb which says, that it is upon the old that we build the new.
You say that again. That's right.
It is upon the old that we build the new. So when you're building the new, the contemporary, and you don't know what the foundation is, if you don't know where you're coming from, it is very difficult to determine where you're going.
You're going because your foundation is not even settled. You're not quite sure where you're
exactly. And that is where people say that we have an identity crisis because we don't really know who we are.
On that note, okay, so let me come back to what's happening to our babies, our young children in school now. And so it will be on that, what you just said. We do not know, even as parents. I am a young mother who is not sure what was done in 19-something when I was born. And so I am raising a young child based on what I know now. So when you go to, you go for all these PTA meetings, the child that speaks the best English, the child that can express themselves better, parents are the ones who are seen the most, because this child is termed as an intelligent child because they can speak good English. We are raising children from our homes where we're not telling them, we're not educating them on what is homely, what a home should be, and even the languages we use at home. So I want to prove to people that my child is the most intelligent, so he has to speak English at home and in school and wherever we go. And we're doing that to our children, okay? We're doing this to our children, not showing them where we're coming from. It's part of throwing away the culture.
It is.
Right. Okay.
It is. Because I'll tell you, when I had my child, I gave a warning that nobody should speak English to my son.
Oh.
So until he set foot in creche, he never spoke any English. He spoke, by the time he was 3, he could speak Chi, he could speak Ewe, and he could speak Ga.
Wow.
Yes, because I have proficiency in all 3 languages.
Okay.
His father is Ashanti, and his grandmother paternal is Ga.
Okay.
So he has proficiency in this language. Now, when he now went to the school and he started talking, when he now within 1 term, he had gained proficiency over the language.
The language.
Yes, because his mind is already tuned to learning language. You see, now when he spoke, the children could not understand it. They couldn't, because his thought pattern is deeper rooted than the rest.
Definitely because of the type of upbringing he had. Mommy, let me quickly throw this to you. Yes. On this particular topic, what was your experience growing up? Let's talk about yours, because I'm not going to say mine.
Okay, so with mine, we also spoke our native language. That's I'm a Ghanaian, and my parents encouraged that because we spoke our own languages and we understood things in our own way.
Exactly.
Because whenever we're in school, irrespective of the fact that we're being taught the English language, the first mode of thinking capacity that we generated was from home.
Yeah.
So when you are given 2 plus 2, you think in your native language.
Thank you.
Which is
Mommy is convinced. I told you should jump on our wagon.
no. I'm coming back to
Please
it.
go back
because
to
you have
her.
to
Go back to her. I
attack
told
it.
you we're a team.
So we had this kind of upbringing, this kind of nurturing, which was helpful. So even while we're reading the Bible in English, it's being translated also in our native language, which is Gandangbe. And we understood both sides. So I can read both languages very well, and I can write it. Meanwhile, there are elderly people who only speak it but can't read it. So this is where it comes to. Then I ask where I ended before Mommy took over, because I have to attack her too.
You have to attack. Don't attack. Ask questions.
Oh no, this is a peaceful attack.
Why not?
With Mommy, she understands. She's in the act. She's an artist, so that's what I'm saying. Artists, we attack each other with only words.
Okay, please go
So
ahead.
this is where we come to the whole thing. Who disappointed who?
Okay.
Because the uncle has to keep those who now the other ships that are coming closer to that same uncle. Who is encouraging these people?
You know, when I was in my question, I did say that it's starting from home now.
Yes.
So before I can't even do school, I know come for to say, you know, and so it's coming from home.
So our mentality, we need to change that kind of mentality because we think how fluent the child is in English is how
makes them intelligent. And I keep hearing this thing. I've seen this pop up a couple of times on social media of the fact that English, your fluency in English doesn't determine how intelligent you are. And I agree to that school of thought. What's your opinion on that one?
I totally agree to that too, because I will tell you what. Many years ago, people built cities and they didn't speak any English. Egypt was built, there was no English. They spoke their natural languages, their local languages. And unfortunately, I think that with us Ghanaians, we have an issue, a major issue in our homes. Just like she said, it is really unfortunate that people think their children are intelligent because they can speak English. I mean, excuse me, if you went to UK right now, who is measuring their child's intelligence by their ability to speak She
But
or
they speak more English than everybody.
Exactly. So personally, I feel there's a problem with that. Children should and must learn their local dialects because a lot of parents can't even express themselves that well in English in the first place.
And they'll be speaking all sorts of English.
Which means
can you go and take? Are you coming and take that in?
Are you learning hard?
Yeah, or off the line.
In fact, are you learning hard? It's something you have said. We'll come to that, Mommy. You're coming to floor all of us. We'll be speaking unnecessary English.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
So they will say, so for instance, like our folk tales, our proverbs, you know, when they say it in Chi or in your local language, it makes more sense to you. It sounds deeper. It sounds richer. But imagine your mom or your dad trying to say an account proverb in English that has not already been translated. They will say it in their best way possible to you, which means they are probably going to say it wrong way anyway to you. Right. Now, I say, just like you said, that most children can learn up to 10, 15 languages. Babies, their minds are like cushions. Okay? You can speak 10 languages to a child. They will learn all of it.
Understand everything.
They will understand all of it. So what is preventing a Ghanaian parent from speaking their local language at home? When children go to school, whether you like it or not, because schools are more formalized, they will learn English. Now, how does the alphabet sound? A, apple, right? Ball. In Chi, it's the same B. Do you understand? So actually, a child who learns Chi, it will be easier for the child to do phonics.
Understands it.
Phonics and English. Do you understand?
Yeah, I do.
And believe you me, I also say this to people. When you go out and you say a Ghanaian, but your child can't speak any Ghanaian language, is your child really a Ghanaian?
It's a pity.
It's a shame.
It's a pity.
It is a shame.
Actually, it is. And I started realizing that part of it because I started studying African studies at AUCC. And unfortunately for me, I was sitting in the class as an Ewe girl. You realize that I was trying to understand what because I want to go and block my mommy at home. Anka. Let's just move past it. But it was very unfortunate that certain things I had to even learn it in the university. And my child is at home trying to look up to me to learn these things from me. So it's rather unfortunate, actually. But, Mommy, you were trying to say something on the topic. I saw that you were nodding very hard.
Yeah. The thing is, talking about who disappointed
Yes.
who.
Yes.
That is the point. I remember that I was interviewed on Kanleawo FM in Akachi, and they are asking him the importance. I said, we have a deliberate responsibility.
Yeah.
We should see it as a deliberate responsibility to hand over the baton to the next generation. If we don't, who will? You know? If we don't, who will? Because I woke up to this awareness why not everybody has the privilege to do that. Because one day, my son asked me, Mama, tell me a story. I said, I couldn't remember any stories, but I grew up in sitting in storytelling sessions. But it died down slowly and quietly. So you don't realize that you're losing it.
Yeah.
So that is when I realized, if I don't tell my son this, what will he now tell his children? So I had to wake up and I had to start mobilizing people and conscientizing people that, hey, we need to wake up. Those of us left, let us hold what we have and pass it on. Let's pass on the baton. So I am proud that you're finding the interest in reconnecting so that your child can benefit. This is what we are losing. And I understand that people are doing this because they want their children to sound
and belong. That's where I feel the whole pressing of wanting to let your children speak good English is coming from and eat certain foods.
Don't even go there. You see, school, I'm sorry, but I have to say this. I am
Please
a trained teacher.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm speaking as an insider.
Yeah.
School and the curriculum that we develop, especially in our basic school, is the #1 killer of creativity.
Tell us about that.
Yes, because when my son went to the school speaking, my mama go, meko mama ho, because all children say, I want to go to my mommy. And he said, my mama go, they laughed at him. Meko mama ho, they laughed at him. But you see, I have inculcated in him a certain assertiveness. So whether you laugh at him or not, he doesn't feel it. He knows what he wants and he just goes ahead and he does it. So if you don't have that personality, that kind of ridicule can stop you from being yourself.
I agree.
Then you want to belong. Then you begin to want shawarma. I saw my son in a hospital situation, and he was playing with a little boy. The boy said, I like fried rice and chicken. I like fried rice, and my favorite food is fried rice and chicken.
Yeah.
My son said, I like fufu and soup with big bone. I said, that's my son. You've got it right.
But of course, mommy taught me well.
You understand? So we need to do these things right from the beginning, consciously. Consciously. You know, what is beautiful? What is beautiful? Even in speaking, in appearance, in manners, what is beautiful? Let's think of that and let's rethink the values in our system, in our culture. What are these values? Why do we want to jettison these values and take other people's values?
Now, talking about values, okay, let me just jump into it. This wasn't my question, but it brought my mind to something. You know, my friends and I were having an argument on this whole traditional marriage, how it's done and how they say the way it used to be worn. And I was arguing that, listen, the world is evolving, things are changing, beauty is being defined in different and diverse ways. And so once it is kentenu, let's just appreciate it. And the gentleman was like, no, Mimi, kentenu a certain way. Na and money ye tune a certain way. On your wedding day, you say we are ketesia because there was a kata now we see. Also and ye de showcasing. Showcasing on your wedding day. Every other person sees your girlfriends over here before your husband even takes you to the room. And it is becoming a trend. Now let's move back to the fact that our culture is evolving. People are accepting the fact that things are changing. So should we accept it? or we should go back and begin to teach how it used to be, because that's what keeps us. Like you did say that authenticity is not it's not concrete, but then it will change.
It will change.
But shouldn't it be in a better direction?
I will tell you that language is the vehicle for philosophy. And so, like you said, aketesia, that expression will not change. It will not change. So the value is, as a young woman, preserve the vitals. Katawuhu see. And then it commands respect.
It does.
It commands respect. I tell you, honestly, even if you go out there, even among the millennials, because I talk to my students a lot, even among the millennials, if you're walking around with all the thing all over the place and everything is popping out, they will look at you and flirt with you and everything. But when it comes to marriage, they don't want to look in that direction.
Definitely.
Because they say, Ka wetina mudane tuja wenyeya.
Okay. Ka watine muda etuja wa enyeya. I wanted to say the Ewe version, but don't worry, guys. I'll be back with my Ewe game on. I cannot lose in this game. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I hope you're learning something. Let's go for a quick commercial break. When we return, the conversation continues here on TLS. We'll be right back.
One, 2, 3, go. Silly. Abba.
Oh my God.
Okay. Hey. Meo blayo ne wo eneke. Mini sono smoni imbe. No fio mine mi sake. Ni trino no swole neke. Ewa bwe 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 bwe. Apla mokobi, oh baby, ogbe mokobi, apla mokobi, apla mokobi, oh ni mi fue.
We are the future, but our voices are often lost in national conversation. We twaddle and twiddle on social media. But what if Twitter runs out of hashtags and Facebook limits live streaming? How would we be heard? Tomorrow's Voices is a youthful platform to lead change, amplify our voice in socio-political issues, and help build a better Ghana. I am Emmanuel Ijaben, winner of the Next TV Star reality show. I'm passionate about Ghana. Tomorrow's Voices. Let's start talking today, only on GH1 television.
GH1 TV, your best experience.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. The Half Serious Show is the best entertainment show on TV. My name is Obi Amposam. Rice cooker, which we all know, is supposed to be used to boil rice, ideally. It's now used by Ghanaians to prepare soup. I'm doing this show with Lexi the Comic.
National Association of Fetishism Television Incorporated, NAFTI. Pentecost, we have a song in our hymn. Let me give you my 360.
Jerry Ashinyo, what's up, bro?
My dress and my makeup and everything was sponsored by anything you can find in your wardrobe.
Oh, Joe! Ow! There will be shortage of butter cream, aka Tuhu. Alberta! Half Serious Show!
The Half Serious Show is sponsored by Betway.
GhOneTV, your best experience.
Oh my God.
Feelings, I'm in my feelings. There is something about you, you bring me healing. Feelings, I'm in my feelings. It be something about you, you bring me healing. Oh, when I see, oh your body be my medicine. I'm addicted with the way that you hold me down. Oh yeah, I see, oh your body be my medicine. I'm addicted with the way that you hold me down. So my eye, nene, so my eye, 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 so my eye, so my eye, so my eye, nene, so my eye.
Babe, you know you find past me, girl. I see my days. I swear I lie to the heavens, girl. You be my taste. You be my weakness, and you know you make me crazy. Your love is like a drug in my system, baby.
Listen, our identity has been crushed by, all these diverse opinions around the world. But today we are talking about identity crisis and why the Ghanaian person thinks, the Ghanaian individual thinks that we have lost our identity, right here on TLS with my able, relevant guest here on the show. I'm learning so much. I hope you're learning something too. Right here on TLS, we say the definition of a lifestyle show. But today, we're trying to find our identity as Ghanaians here. And Mommy is doing an amazing job, you all. In fact, Albert is killing it for me. You know why? Because I was just so scared how you're going to, in fact, make him disappear. Let him know that the millennials are doing it wrong. But you've taught us that it is changing. Change is accepted.
Yes.
We are allowed to do that. We played two different types of music. One from Kwabna and Mr. Drew. And both of them were trying to do the old high life song, but in a more modified way, which is what we see lately. And then we saw Sina Soul and what's his name, Kitty, try to do it the millennial way. And it was very intentional for us to understand what the conversation is. What Kwabna and Mr. Drew did is trying to tell us that times have changed. And so we can have our music, our authentic Ghanaian high life song in a very different way, and we'll still enjoy it.
You're still using authentic.
Yes, Mommy.
Okay.
Okay. Let me just, please give me another word to use.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm allowed to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm allowed to do it. Note that mommy is a lecturer, so she's allowed to teach on the show. I'm accepting every knowledge you're giving me. Yes. So please, I am trying to give us a very more simple way of defining, what our culture, and I feel like authentic would be the better way. Okay. Okay, so mommy, let's go back to the kind of music we listen to now.
Yes.
How it influences our culture. Let me take it from Albert, then we come back to you, and then to, Nicolina.
Oh, I think you should go that
way, right? So from them to you. Okay, we'll do that. I don't mind. Anything you want. So Albert, the kind of music we listen to now, it influences our culture. It's supposed to influence our culture in a very, very large way, but we seem to be moving away from the culture with the type of music. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, I agree with you on that, because just as I mentioned, I'll keep mentioning.
Please go ahead and
that
keep mentioning.
who did who the wrong, because there is something going on now, and there we term it as a deviation, meaning there was a point of reference, or there is still a point of reference. So today, looking at the kind of songs or music that's been produced, it tells us that we've deviated because we can have a reference point. Why? We tend to get songs that will sell now, not
call it commercial music.
Not songs that will make impact in our lives as younger people and even reflect in the lives of the elderly.
Let me
people
play a
in
devil's
society.
advocate. Music is for entertainment, so whichever way it comes, shouldn't it be accepted and run with? I mean, it doesn't matter what time it is that we're in.
I say music is a powerful tool because it has words in it, and words are life. So when songs are sung, it gives a stirring in your spirit, and that is why there are certain songs when played, you are in a moody mood. There are certain songs when played, you are joyful. There are certain songs, it stimulates maybe orgasm or something. Because these are respective songs in their capacities to do what they have been created to do. But today, we tend to play songs which will resonate with the Western world, like using the F word frequently, using the P word frequently, because we tend to see the Jay-Z's and other people doing it, and
it will sell in their country.
Will sell in their domain as well, irrespective of the fact that we are corrupting the nature here in our society. So when we corrupt ourselves, are we in turn looking at selling ourselves well outside?
Because we're not selling anything that is okay, let me not use the word again. We're not selling anything that is originally ours. We are doing a photocopy or a copy of what they are doing, and even in a very terrible way. People.
So who failed us?
All right. Who failed us?
Yes.
Who failed us?
As I mentioned, it's our parents.
Okay, Mommy will answer that question. Right. And I think you did before. Yes. But I think that Albert is not very satisfied because he wants to strongly put the blame on
somebody.
All of us. Please.
Everybody needs to be blamed for it.
Yes.
We are all guilty because music is a very important part of the culture. I mean, back in the day, there were songs that were even stories. Songs that talked about history, songs that when you listen, you realize that you could hear the drums, you could hear the xylophone, you could hear the different instruments that were being played. So the songs were really rich. Now what do we have? Songs that, honestly, I'm sorry to say, they make absolutely no sense.
No sense.
I mean, you can't even the words of the song. Nobody can even read them. You can honestly just say them because you can hear them. But if they wrote it, you probably couldn't read them. But songs are important because through songs we are identified as a people. I understand the influence of foreign culture, but still, what is originally Ghanaian must remain Ghanaian.
I remember what Wizkid did with the Fela Kuti songs.
Right.
He tried to inculcate the whole millennial genre, what they call Afropop, into what he calls the original Afropop kind of music, which is Fela Kuti's songs. And when he did that, I think the whole world actually appreciated him for that. He went on tours with those songs that even those people that he was on tour with in their countries didn't understand the words, but he was still selling Nigeria. And so has many other artists in Nigeria done with this song? Please go ahead.
I disagree with what you just said.
Go ahead.
It's not the whole world embracing it. It's your world embracing it. And your world is the loudest right now.
Yes.
Okay, because the people are a bit older, we are not embracing those songs. But because you and I, because of our age,
they can relate because they have they have elements of the old. So Fela Kuti songs are really old, and older people can relate to those songs. So a blend of Fela Kuti and the millennial Wizkid made, I think, did the magic for Wizkid for me. And I think Wizkid, Davido followed suit, and then now Burna Boy, who's calling himself the African giant. He is doing that, okay, because he has developed designed a genre for himself where he's blending the oldies and the youngies, so it's more like high life and a bit of the Afropop mix, and that's what Burna Boy is doing. But please,
let's not get excited about those things. I like Fela, and I like the original Fela. I mean, he goes say, "I be lady oh." I love and I love to listen to him. So the beats at the back of the back of his songs, very correct, very good, very rich. You know, you can listen and think. You can listen and even feel the aura. Yeah. Okay. Now what they are doing now is not bad either. Okay. But I will still insist we should have more original Fela.
Okay. More original Fela and more original Daddy Lumba and more original high life in
so we
Ghana.
can maintain our culture.
I'm saying I'm referring to them because I can't really pinpoint. You know, I'm sorry, but I can't really pinpoint a Ghanaian artist who's killing it for me on the high life level. So I'm sorry. Shout outs to all those who are doing my high life. Mommy, please.
Yeah, you see, music as an art form is a very strong, influential genre, because the music affects your mood, your emotion, your thinking, and your totality. And that is why our elders intentionally put the most important messages in songs. They sing when they are telling you something, and it gets to a very important part. They sing it. Media me wawe, media me jene me hon. Okusie kodini moko na ponchire ni ati hun fifre sign. Media me mpa me wansamo, me mpa me wansamo. Ye wo bia kofa beka me. Won't you understand that?
You will.
Do you see? And once that song is sung, it is a form of, it's a minimalism of thought, but it has a very deep meaning. It is proverbial. Okay. So that genre is something that influences society. Music.
Yeah.
All art forms do influence, but music is very strong. And the music is an archive of all our philosophies as we're coming along. So, semenyina ti seye ni abeya, sawa koto, anka nyani seye brei, sanka wanfe ni trinkwa, anka etrio entu wakwa ye muda, nanu ni kasa, sawa koto ti seye sionyunu. Obie nenia oba koto ti se nyera open kokwa oba koto so obu ne ho ne nani guarantee so who now be fa la.
I know that one.
Yeah. Obey one obedre mu dia onye bido.
Oh, that's what it is. Obey you one obedre onye bido.
So self-respect, and this defines what a beautiful, dignified woman is.
And it's in a song.
It's in the song.
And if you listen, you would get something.
So if you're copy, know that it is not the thing. Yeah. So it is our version of what you will call today ladylike. Yes, so wa po. Wow. It doesn't mean westernized. No. So, but I tell you, please listen to me. Globalization is westernization. because they are the ones setting the parameters and we are following. And so long as you want to be like, know that you will never arrive.
Mommy, save the rest of the things you have to say and end the show with me with those things, because I know that there's more to come. Please, your last words for my audience today on how to stay original, true to ourselves, even with the ever-evolving and ever-changing world that we live in.
I believe we can start with our children, that every home, learning starts from the home, even before school. So I think that all parents, grandmothers, aunties, uncles, everybody must make a conscious effort to teach the children our language. Just the language, at least. That's what I'm going to ask Ghanaians to do for now. Let us be proud of our language. Let us be proud of being Ghanaian. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Auntie Nicolina. My partner, Albert, tell us.
Okay, I'm an engineer, and you know, in physics, we have force being mass times acceleration. Let's put it in a human sector. When we talk about the masses today, what kind of mentality are they having? Do they need a mind reset, or they still need a mind update? When we talk about globalization, just as you mentioned, globalization, they have the parameters, but we have to determine whether this is good for me and this will not help enslave me. So then I can ride with it. If not, we should be wise enough to know this kind of globalization, it is not right for me. There we will know our cultural values and how to project them, our cultural aesthetics, to the other people in the world.
Just as they're doing to us.
So it means if we want to generate a force, then the masses need to be accelerated. Because when the masses are accelerated, and this acceleration is due to education, quality public education, which has the elements of our cultural aspects reflecting in this kind of education, then work will be done. Because in physics, work done is force times distance. So when we generate the force by accelerating the masses due to education, quality public education, and we move through a distance that's in the direction of that very force, and we have the work done, then power will be ours, because in physics, power is work done over time taken.
Okay, so this what you are doing is to translate our formal education into how we can reform our education.
So this is how applicable our education can be.
Oh, great. So listen, I mean, if you want to hear more of this, where can we find you on social media?
Albasin K or Verbal Transformers.
Verbal Transformers or Albasin K on all social media platforms.
All social media platforms.
Great, Mommy, how can we find you on social media?
Well,
you're not on social media?
No.
You don't care? I told you. Mommy, please end the show with us.
Okay. You see, Bob Marley once sang and said, emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. I will not continue.
That's all.
None but ourselves can free our minds.
Have no fear for atomic energy.
We thank God for the rest. We have to end the show.
Sure.
The point is, people, let us awaken to the need to preserve that which is ours. That and only that is when we will be assertive, and that is when we will be strong, even in the global world. It has to be culturally relevant. Don't be in a hurry to please, because as artists, whatever we are talking about here has art in the underlining as the underlining factor. As artists, we are recipients of information from the ether for the world we are living in today, and so we have to play our role. We thank God for the Western world and their values, but we have our own. We have to preserve and protect that and grow it. Culture changes of its own dynamics, not under pressure from another force. The physics man is here. I should be careful. So we decide what is now relevant for us and we change. So people, let us go back. Yes,
That's true.
Let us go back and take that which is ours, because okay,
I got that. She decided to end the show with that one.
Upon the old that we build the new.
Thank you so much. Let me say this one too. Yeah. I said it right. Yes, I did say it right. Clap for me. It's been a fantastic show. It's been very educative and very informative, and I'm glad that I brought all of you. In fact, my producer did a great job. Auntie Gifty, thank you so much. Gifty Edu Ansa Awuku was my producer. She put together this amazing people and made sure that we had a great show. Thank you so much, Mami, for coming, Albert. And to
social media.
Yes. I'm sorry. Please have your social media.
You find me Dogbaji Sarah or Sarah Dogbaji. One is Dogbaji Sarah, one is Sarah Dogbaji on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find Lododo Art on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube and all that.
And I'm sure you will learn a lot about your culture here in Ghana. And I'm sure that today you have understood the reason why you need to understand the Ghanaian culture and also uphold it. Thank you so much for joining me here on TLS, the definition of a lifestyle show. Mimi K, I brought this exciting show to you. Join us same time next week right here with another exciting and intriguing conversation here. Have a great day.